Hi, do you have a reformer and want to know how to set it up? Or do you want to try a reformer class and want to know a little bit more about a reformer before you begin? Well, hi, I'm Claire. I'm a professional reformer instructor. I teach beginners every week, new people at a very lovely spa. And I'd like to tell you how to get your reformer set up so you feel more confident and safe. Here we go. This is the foot bar. Every reformer has one, no matter what brand, and it can go up or down. I almost always have mine just like this. This is in the top setting for the stot reformer. It would be the second from the highest in the balanced body. I teach on both, and you basically move this up and down as you need it. Simple. You're going to have a strap here. You want to make sure that's safe, not going anywhere. It just goes over. And you're going to have your gear bar. Now, let me talk about the gear bar because this is where most people get confused. So when you're doing your reformer work, you have things, you're going to be moving the carriage back and forth. And you want to make sure that it's optimal for your height. That's basically it. But because people have different torso length and different leg length, you could be moving this gear bar for different exercises for optimizing. So for most people, it's height 5'4" to 5'9", you're going to have the universal settings for your whole class and not have to touch any of this except to change the springs. So that's good. And so I would try using your reformer that way first. And then if you feel it in the wrong way, we'll make the adjustment. Let me just show you what it would look like most of the time. Because I've been to reformer classes where it was set up for tall person settings and someone 4'8" shows up and uses that reformer and they don't know why it didn't feel right. So I'm going to move this down just so you can see better. So when you show up and you look at your reformer, you're going to see there's this gear bar and it just comes right off like this. Easy. So for 5'3" to 4 foot or whatever, you want to have it in the first position. So if you think about it in your car, if you were to drive my car, you'd want to move the seat. So we're moving the seat by adjusting the gear bar. The reformers have 3 settings, 1, 2, 3. Short, medium, tall. So that's how it goes. And I'm going to go back to universal. So another concept to understand is, and that's why reformer, just like everything, just like cooking, just like golf, there's terminology you have to learn, and just be patient with it if it's something new to you. I know it can be overwhelming, but your body will tell you if this is good or bad for you right away. You'll know, oh, this isn't the right setting. Let me adjust it. And just like putting stuff away from your dishwasher, pretty soon you'll just be wheeling and dealing and this won't be hard to remember at all. So this is universal settings. Here's your carriage. This is always going to be like this. These are your shoulder rests and it comes up or down. I don't take these off very much. Blah. But it's good to know because sometimes somebody will just pick it off and they'll be, oh my God, I broke it. You didn't break anything. This is metal, by the way. So you want to make sure that this metal is here. So if you change these out by mistake, you would hit your nose if this was on that side, if you flipped them by mistake. And they almost never will go that way, but they could. There's a few exercises that might be a benefit, but don't worry about that. Just wanted you to know they come off and your machine is not broken. The balanced body, you have to turn a knob for that. These are your straps. And in the stot reformer system, you have 1 loop. You could always buy additional loops. They're great, but this is what it comes with. And so here's the long loop. And instead of having a second loop, you just turn this over, open the clip, and now you have a double loop. So it's actually easier to hold if you're doing these kinds of exercises because you can grip it a little better than a single loop. But for usually like feet and straps, you're going to be wanting always on the longer loop. So think of it, hands and arms and strap, no matter how tall you are, you're going to be in the universal setting. So that's the middle spring with the gear stopper on the second hole. Did I tell you about the gear stopper? Oh, well, here it is. This is the gear stopper. So if I didn't have this, I wouldn't stop. I would stop on the wood, which is not appropriate. This goes on one of a few holes over here. This one has 7 holes because it's so fancy, but most reformers have 3. So you want to have this at the second bar, second hole, then put your springs on. So that's universal settings, and your straps are set up evenly. Sometimes, I've honestly never had to change the straps on this one time, but you want to make sure they're even. It's really annoying if one is this, if there's uneven straps. So that's good to know. And then I'll make additional video of how to adjust these finely if you need to. So the point is, you need to set your reformer up to your height settings. Either it's going to be short, medium, or tall. And if you are in the short or the tall settings, it might be appropriate to go back and forth to this universal. So that's sort of just part of the fun, is moving it back and forth for the hands and straps, because that you never want to really have to move this too much. And that's the nice thing about having your reformer. You'll have it set up to your settings. So it'll always be like this. I've not had to adjust mine, except I let my son use my reformer. Other things you should know. You should have a box. These really are nice. This is a heavy one. I love it. Works great. You should also invest in, I know this sounds silly, but this is a sticky mat. And it's specifically a Pilates sticky mat, not the one from Home Depot. I've tried them. It just helps you to stay here so you don't push into the reformer too much. If you slide a bit, it's also nice to have on the floor for your foot so you don't slide too. So that's a double use there. And have your props nearby. So that's I think the basics, so you don't feel as intimidated when you get to start your next class or exercise. I also highly recommend having your setup ready to go so you have no excuse not to use your reformer and you can't wait to use it. Well, I'm going to start teaching some more classes. I'm going to go through the exercises to take out some confusion, and we'll talk about the setup each time. And I know you're just going to love it. I want you to have the same feeling as when you're in class and at the teacher and you have your music on and you're just going through your workout. And it takes time because everybody's unique and has their own goals. And also because you know what you love about the reformer. I'm going to do a class called Best of Reformer next, and we're going to do the things that you love on the reformer and everyone can do. So look forward to that next video. This is the first one I made, and thank you for coming. I'm Claire. You can find me on pilateshomework.net, and I have a free printable PDF of reformer setup. So go ahead and grab that through the website. And thanks for being part of my channel. This is going to be a lot of fun.